No, not the resolution. Like refresh
Oh,
rate.
the refresh rate, 60. Which
That's a
there's
nice
the
medium.
there is the adaptive. Actually, come to think of it, I don't know if I have any other option. It's either 60.
Or adaptive up to 120.
Yeah. So the thing I found with that, um, it absolutely kills my battery
Yeah,
having it
yeah,
on
that's
120. They made this whole big song and dance about, oh, hey, it'll go down to 1 or to 24 if you're like reading something or have a stationary image. And it is a lot more smooth, obviously, at 120. Like, it's a noticeable difference.
yeah.
But for what I use my phone for, I just don't care outside of like really
No.
smooth UI elements.
If I'm gonna do something that I might care that for that about, I might turn it on. But other than that, I can't see myself needing it.
What kind of bothers me is that there's no, like, in Android you can pull down and there's that quick menu and there's the
Yeah.
quick selection of icons you can choose from. It kind of bothers me that there's no toggleable, like, just button where you're like, yeah, I go back and forth between the two refresh rates. Because I would use, anytime I go into a video, I would automatically turn that on rather than have to go through like 3 series of menus to find it to turn it on. Um,
It's not something you can turn on in like or add to that screen.
unless they updated it to add an option, no.
Okay.
Hi,
Some
welcome
dork
to the.
shit we're talking about here,
I was gonna
guys.
say, hi, welcome to the Pokey Factor, where we talk about knives and not cell
I was like, are we live right now? And then I looked over. I was like, yeah, sure enough, sure enough. Evening, everyone, and Ben. See, I can do it too, and I have a bigger voice.
phones. Oh, awful.
Gentlemen, what are we carrying this evening?
Yeah. What are we carrying this evening?
What are we carrying this evening? Let me go to Alt Tab
Somewhere.
to the pictures.
Yeah.
I'll go first. While you
Oh,
look for the thing. Unless Paul wants to go
there's
first.
some congratulations needed in chat here. Nicole got married last weekend. That's why she missed her stream, which you got to say is probably a fair reason for me missing a stream. I'll give it to her.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I mean, you can put it on the watch later. That's fine.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Nicole. So cut some boxes with your Natrix. No.
Is it a copper matrix?
No. I can't remember. He's got the black one,
The
black
one?
and green one.
Okay.
Maybe the red one. I don't think we got the red one, so I don't think it's that one.
I know that like the 777 was a thing and everything else. But I really want a ZT version of that knife. Sorry, I like lost the plot halfway through that conversation.
So you want the ZT version of a Kershaw knife, which is a version of a ZT knife.
Yes.
But you don't want it to be the
ultimately.
But you don't want it.
I want the 777.
So what about the what was that LMAX bladed? Well, it ended up being S35. Spring assists with the flat carbon fiber scales. That was
770?
basically
Yeah, no.
yeah, that was basically the same profile.
Sure, but it didn't have the fuller things like that.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I like that knife is that fuller.
You can't compare those two knives. The 770 and the 777 are.
And
yeah.
No.
I didn't dislike the design. I disliked the fact that it was assisted.
Yeah.
I have since changed my opinion about that to a certain degree, but I still prefer non-assisted stuff.
Oh, if there's an option for a non-assist, yeah, I agree.
Quick shout out to Dick Richards in chat. Word.
Oh no.
There's a zzz on the end of that, but yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. My apologies.
Gotta remember to zhuzh it a little bit.
Gotta remember to zhuzh it a little bit.
Just a little bit.
What, you're not gonna zhuzh it?
Well, If you don't judge it, then I'm
Okay, the problem is why do you need to remember to like that? That's in autopilot judging. Come on, like,
it should be ingrained.
The cruise control motion right there. You don't judge without thinking about it, then you're not doing it right.
Excellent.
All right. I didn't know Dennis felt so strongly about judging.
Instinctual judging. It's a new category in the knife throwers. It's
Knife throwers. All right.
Like of America?
Sure. Why not? I'm not biased. Other countries can join.
Oh, fair.
Is anyone carrying anything? Has anyone said anything?
I was going to say that I could go first, but if somebody has something they want to say beforehand.
Dick Richards is carrying his Spartan.
Nice.
And Ben bought his Adamas. Justin used his Natrix to cut some boxes open for a friend moving.
Yeah.
He brought his Adamas, not bought it. We bought it. Actually, Joe bought it, and then we gave it to Ben.
I feel like I said brought, but I might have.
Yeah, the internet.
It might have come out, but you know.
Yeah. And comments about pushing bush. Anyway.
Sometimes you gotta push the bush.
So, Joe, you should go first.
So after all that, yeah, I've been carrying my Vero a lot the last little bit. So that was the choice for today, the day before that, and the day before that. The isotope. I had to think about that for a second, but this is the isotope with the integral.
That's what it's called, Dennis. We were talking about that recently. Sorry.
The isotope. Yeah,
it's the isotope.
Obviously named after the Springfield baseball team.
That's exactly where I was thinking.
100%. Yeah, of course. And not anything else. But I will say, if anyone watching ever gets the chance to handle a Vero, you should. But if you have the choice between a Synapse XL and a isotope, I'd be tempted to say maybe go with the Synapse. The action on that is pretty punchy.
Yeah, except the XL part.
Well, okay, one way or the other, but I prefer the XL.
Am I wrong in thinking that they missed their mark by naming a knife the isotope and not making it glow in the dark?
I want to say that
the cross section glow in the dark carbon fiber. Yeah.
I want to say that they had an inlay version that did glow. Okay. I'm not 100% sure because I've seen them in Timascus, I've seen them in G10, carbon fiber, micarta, tons of stuff. I'm pretty sure I saw a glow option once upon a time,
but it was the metal part of the knife and not the carbon fiber because it was actually just made out of tritium. So
the whole handle made out of tritium. Jesus. I don't.
Is it just an isotope of helium? I'm pretty sure. Either way,
it's pronounced nuclear.
Anyway, that's me.
Touche. Yeah.
Oof.
So, I was also pushing bush this weekend. I did have tags, though. And the only animals I saw worth shooting were on the drive-in and the drive-out. So that's awesome. Next to the road is not so fun. But all weekend long, it was actually something I forgot about. I was like, I don't think I've ever actually posted. Let's take it out to the bush, get some pictures, chop some stuff with it. But I have an artisan tomahawk fixed blade.
Oh, yeah, right.
Bought this thing a couple of years ago, and I was like, oh, yeah. Look at that. I own one of those. Let's go chop some stuff with it. Yeah.
Honestly, when you sent me the picture or the email earlier today, I was like, oh, right. Yeah, he does have one of those.
I have
thought about that knife.
The folding version of this knife. And I got to say, I think the fixed blade version is the better choice.
I concur. After handling them both. The folder is, I don't know, funky. With all the cleaver blades on the market, I don't know if the tomahawk would be my number one pick as far as a folder goes.
I'm gonna be honest. I bought it on impulse because it was green, and you don't see a lot of green anodizing like on production stuff.
Well, like. We might have that change in the near future, but we'll see.
Absolutely.
What's this? Yeah, we'll talk about that later. How is that pivot holding up, by the way?
On my tomahawk.
Well, on his tomahawk.
I was like,
So-
this is my moment there, Joe. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like, it's-
To be fair, it is his moment.
This is true.
But it has held together after taking it apart multiple times and degreasing it like a crazy person, and
Okay.
then Loctiting the absolute shit out of it.
Okay, that's good to hear. I did have a question for Dennis about his tomahawk, though. It is D2 for the blade, right? The whole thing's made out of D2.
see,
Um,
it's not
so-
braised with anything.
How did you find the edge stability?
I didn't use it enough. I chopped wood for the sake of chopping wood, but I was, yeah.
Fair enough.
Honestly, it was. I think most of the bears should be asleep, but I'm bringing this instead of bear spray, so slightly larger than just my skinning knife, which is the only other thing I had with me, which is not a big knife. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, then I tracked bear tracks for I don't know 2.5 hours today, so that was fun. I followed the bear. I want to see where it was going.
I
but-
mean, if I had to be in the direction of a bear, I'd rather be behind it than in front of it.
Mhm,
think.
mhm, mhm.
At least you know at that point.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Huh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Just quick shout out to CPM in chat. What up?
Well, hello.
He's having some counterfeit poutine as a side dish. I don't know what counterfeit poutine is, but if it comes out of like a tear package, I'm upset with you.
It has to be from a certain region in France.
Otherwise, it's just what?
It's not
Sparkling fries
prosecco,
and
that's
gravy.
for sure.
Sparkling
It's,
cheese
yeah,
curds, sir.
it's not
Sparkling cheese curds.
prosecco. That's yeah.
Yeah.
It's Prosecco.
It's yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's my carry.
Very cool. Very cool.
Cool.
I also carried something kind of weird looking today. And by today, I mean, I took this photo yesterday. But I'm carrying the 0055 today
You
in
sure
all
are.
of its weird glory.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I dig it. I like that stupid knife.
You should let Joe over tighten the spring for you.
No.
No. That knife's fine the way it is.
It really is.
That had nothing to do with the conversation, Joe. It's-
Fair.
I've
Hurtful,
gotten
but
used to the
fair.
804. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I just undo the 804 upside down and roll it closed.
So yeah, it's a weird knife. It's a weird, weird
knife.
knife. It's kind of a
But,
weird background. I'm not sure about this one. It
Do you know what it is?
looks like a homeless kitten. It's I don't know. It's lying in the street. Like
I know exactly where this is, yes.
There you go. It is at work in the basement. There's an I-beam that runs beside the stairs.
mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
And it needed some extra light, so it's got some side lighting from a certain
Sweet.
arc filled.
All the dust buddies are so excited.
Right. Yeah.
VT
I mean,
rather
this
than an Avera?
this knife looks nice with contrasting light like that, though. It catches the
If
all the contouring.
nothing else, it's a really nicely machined piece.
Yes, it's
Even if you
fucking
hate
weird.
geometric lines and it's funky as hell, but it's still pretty cool.
And it is not my most comfortable knife by any stretch, but it is surprisingly comfortable considering it looks like this.
The Ergos were definitely surprising the first time I got to hold it in person.
Yeah.
Paul is frozen. It's not me this time.
Yeah.
So
But you know what? I gotta take it. That's probably the best way I've ever froze. Most of my face is hidden.
Dick Richards asking purpose to the style of that blade. I'm sure if you asked Gus something, whatever his name is for GTC knives, he probably has interviews, discussions, blah, blah, blah. Rocking, tipping, depending on the angle of your hand, things like that.
I have absolutely found tipping it forward like this is fantastic. It cuts really nicely in that front section of the blade like that. I bet you it probably works pretty good in the kitchen. I haven't tried it. I might come back with an answer to that question.
Looks vaguely Hanazuki-ish.
I'm gonna bone a chicken with it.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna debone that chicken.
So that's the ramble. That's the 15 minutes of fame.
I think so.
I think so.
All right.
Oh, like on the dot at 7:30.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah, we did well
The
for
old
ourselves.
preamble.
I mean, I thought we were probably only 14 minutes because I didn't realize we were live for the first minute of your phone bullshit talk, but you know. So
Right, I gotta check that on my phone later. Thanks for reminding me. Put that away.
The best part about that is I don't think we even named the type of phone. We just talked about it and then changed the topic. And I'm not even gonna tell you what it is now.
Yeah,
it's too late. We've gone too far. We're 31. Like we're 1 minute behind now.
Now we gotta play catch up. Damn it!
Like,
all right, we're talking about the rag.
All right, you sons of bitches. It's the Raghorn.
Yeah, you saw the title. You knew what you were here for. Oh man. Okay. I have thoughts and feelings. I don't know about you guys, but I got thoughts and feelings.
I got feelings.
I do. I like the part where the open length is 8.9 inches on Benchmade's.
Oh my god, is that what they're saying?
They have an open length. It's not an overall. I don't know if all other fixed blades say open length. Is that something I've just not noticed before? But that was just what I noticed right now. So
that doesn't sound right. That sounds like
yeah, but kind of.
I mean,
it does, but kind of.
Right.
I could see them doing it, but I don't know. I think they just fucked up.
What else would you call unsheathing your knife?
Open.
If not open.
Yeah, it's a true story.
They did it for the flyway.
Yeah. Okay. So
But what about
once
a knife
it's
not
open
made this year?
What was that, Paul?
What about a knife not made this year?
That was my next question. Yeah. Well, so see, the problem is they've archived that, so you won't be able to see it. I'm just looking.
What's the one that's still in production there, Dennis? Their big combat-y knife.
Big Satanas?
No, the other one.
Arvensis.
Ooh, yeah. Arvensis. Good call. Let's take a quick look at that. Man, we're already in the weeds. Nimravis is still listed? Oh, the Nimravis is still listed, but it's out of stock.
It's still being made.
Yeah. They kind of put it on the back burner, but I think it got made the whole time. For those of them wondering, spec-wise, 4-inch blade on the nose, 8.9 open overall, like we covered, so basically 5-inch channel.
That 4-inch blade thing is kind of questionable, only because it should really be 4-inch cutting edge.
The Arvensis is not listed.
Really? It was there like this week when we were looking.
So the Nimravis, maybe. Or the protagonist.
Okay, the Nimravis calls it an overall length. There's no mention of an open length here.
Okay.
So it's a new thing.
I think
it's a hunt thing. And they just were like, we're just going to make it a hunt thing and call it open because we started with folders and now everything's like that.
See, that would make sense, except they also did it with the anonymous.
It can be a hunting knife. It's anonymous.
It can do everything, Joe. It can do everything.
It's a great class.
Great class for a great
the reaction on Joe's face was worth that shit.
Oh.
Wait, 3.5 ounces. Wait, 3.5 ounces. Back on that train.
Crazy light. But yeah, the cutting edge, if you measure it from point to the sharpening or the finger choil, is 4 inches basically on the nose. And it's about 5 inches if you include the unhandled blunt section. Ricasso even.
Why would you count that section?
Because won't most like police precincts and stuff like that consider that?
Yeah, legally it's from the edge of the handle in most jurisdictions, from what I understand.
Okay. Hang on a second here. Are we talking about legal dictions on like what is very obviously a hunting knife? Like,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people should be aware of it if they have blade restriction.
Yes, I will give you that. But yeah, I don't think, like, yeah, obviously there is going to be some blade restrictions in certain parts and whatever. You might get roped in with what, but this knife is not trying to be legal friendly for anything. It's meant to skin a moose. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
it's like the Kalinga or a buck 119 carrying about blade
1,000%.
size. Like, yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah, this is very much a
It was just something that I read, and I was hoping, like Spyderco oftentimes will tell you the cutting edge and then the blade length on most of their knives. And I was hoping that they would give us that information.
Well, yeah, we probably could have figured it out if one of us had sat down and actually measured the actual carbon fiber scale itself.
Mm.
But
Well,
no,
I measured the like overall length to like the lower section of the handle to about 5 inches.
I did find some more specific measurements on I think it's Blade HQ here. Yeah. So their cutting edge is listed at 4.125. Blade length is listed at 4 inches. I think they might have gotten that reversed.
But it's more than a 1/4 inch from.
No, what that means is if you take a
The
thread,
curvature.
yeah,
If that's how they're measuring it, then cool. But I am actually curious now what the distance is between the tip of the knife and the edge of the handle scale. Because that's
you were
ultimately
roughly an inch, which
Roughly,
would
it's
actually
roughly 5 inches.
which would actually make sense because where that index finger choil is, I actually didn't get a picture of in hand with this thing. Yeah, I just realized. Anyway, that's where you would want to put your index finger anyway. It's not really that you're holding this knife purely on the handle. Where your first finger needs to be is already past the handle. That's where they want it to be in the first place, right? So
the way that handle scale is tapered to give you kind of a pinch grip as well as the finger choil and everything, you're meant to be choking up on this blade 1,000%.
It's not like it has a big cross guard that you have to stick your finger behind this area. There's nothing like it wants you to only hold 3/4 of a handle anyway, right? So
that's not quite it.
Alex Swarf in chat, what is up? My apologies, Alex Swarf the third. Long lineage of Swarfs.
Indeed.
So kind of hard to see here, but in between the individual grooves for the jimping, there's further grooves off at a canted angle here.
Do you mean on one of the close-up pictures that I took in the other file?
There's another file?
I took 2 emails. There should be 5 pictures total that I took. One email with 2 pictures, one email with 3 pictures.
Yeah. Nope, those got saved into a subfolder. But here we go.
I was like, wait, no. Let's talk about this.
Yes. There we are. Thank you.
Talk about this.
In proper fashion.
Yes. Now I can zoom in regularly and go back to that. Yeah, sweet. So, yes, those are the grooves. Thank you for the nice, diligently photographed.
What, am I new?
What's up?
Jesus Christ, come on.
No, it's all good. So they very clearly intend you to put your thumb or pinch on either end of that blade and hold it there and have as little shifting around as possible. Not a bad idea. Were this any steel other than crew wear, I might be a little bit more concerned about it being a stress riser, but being crew wear, it being a skinning knife in particular, I don't think I'd be that concerned about it.
I do like the fact, though, that even with that taken into account, they did do these lines counter to the actual jimping on the spine.
Yes,
correct.
That was a smart decision to make.
Yeah, and a little side jump is good for everyone every once in a while. It's
from time to time.
Something I didn't realize was actually coming on that knife.
They didn't market this particular feature nearly good enough before this knife was released. It's nice for a man that enjoys a good skinning knife and a good hunting butcher whatever type of thing. As soon as I put this thing in my hand, it instantly surprised me. I was like much nicer than I thought it was going to be. So
And I mean, that's saying something, even considering you were kind of looking forward to seeing this knife in hand, right?
I was, out of anything that came out this year,
Yeah.
but I'm not a huge meat crafter guy. I know, as harsh as
Yeah.
that is to say sometimes. So when you give me other options, and you're putting crewware in it, and you're making it just a hint over 2 mils thick,
Yeah. Yeah.
it gets my attention, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
The
yeah.
fact,
So
like you said before, I don't think we touched on it enough. The fact that it's 3.5 freaking ounces.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
minimal in its construction. Very impressed with it. And for the uninitiated, as far as why crewware would be such a big deal with a thin blade like this, edge holding is not just determined by the wear resistance of a steel, but also by its toughness. And especially when you get to this thin of an edge, having a super tough steel like crewware or M4 or other steels like that, you were going to notice a significant increase in edge holding just from that alone. But the upshot of all this is that wait, no, this isn't the upshot. We already did that knife. The upshot of all this is that the edge stability with crewware is way better than what you would see with, say, S90V in the case of accidentally contacting bone.
There's videos on the Instagrams of a guy batoning through brick with a fixed bladed Adamas, and I mean, it's a thicker edge, no doubt about it. What?
Oh,
Lost you, Dennis. I don't know if you can hear us.
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah.
there he is. He's back.
He wasn't chopping. He was taking a knife and like batoning with a rubber mallet through brick.
Oh,
But
wow.
that's actually going to give you some similar impact to bouncing off a bone, things like that. So in that particular test, it actually did catch my eye on how little edge deformation, things like that. If he can do that with that and have it barely scratch, if I bang off of a bone every once in a while, if I have to do something, it's not the end of the world as long as I'm not cranking on it, because no steel likes that. It doesn't like bone. Stop doing it.
Yeah.
That is actually something that I realized too with the crewware choice. It is an awesome option for that exact reason.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Ben, as far as the different grips and stuff, yeah, really nice pinch grip on it. Indexing a knife where you're like even thumb on one side, finger on the other type of idea, and you're doing one of these on the side. That side piece on that Raghorn is absolutely phenomenal. Oh, did I freeze again? Son of a bitch.
Your audio is okay for now, but the video seems to be very choppy and a little bit behind.
Okay. I'm not sure what I can do, but we're going to try to hang on.
On the note, yeah, this thing does feel fantastic in hand. I really like that they're carrying on something that they started several knives ago. I don't know the first one specifically that did this, probably some bone collected fixed blade. But the spine of the knife actually having this waved, jimpy ridge thing in the back handle without it being super aggressive is actually, it does offer some meaningful traction if you've got the knife like backed out into your hand like this, and most of it's coming into your palm. It did feel fairly secure. I was somewhat surprised by that.
Most of it's what, in your palm?
What's that?
Nothing.
No, I already forget what I said. Don't worry. And on the front face of the knife, or front face, on the edge side of the handle, where the handles join, there is a seam, but you can see it actually comes down in front of the blade stem. So wrapping your fingers around the front of the knife actually feels a little bit more comfortable because of that. And they do have some really nice contouring. And it kind
You're
of
just
shows
going
up
to take
here.
all the goddamn points, aren't you, you son of a bitch?
Well, I wanted to talk about the handle specifically, but I know that there's
like,
a lot
check
of
out
guys.
this and this and this. Show's over, folks.
Oh, don't worry.
Why do you think I had those 3 individual pictures?
Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to ask you guys and the audience, what do you think about heavily contoured handles like this, where you have this wasp waisted? Because personally, I really didn't like it for general use with the Bushcrafter, the way Benchmade did it. I thought that was too much. This feels subtle enough that, like, okay, I could see this being used and being relatively comfortable. But how many knives come out with basic contouring or no contouring at all, super flat?
But how many hunting knives do? A lot of them have some contouring to them, even if it's just that the tapering towards the front of the handle and stuff like that for the pinch grip.
I actually was quite okay with the Bushcrafter tapering. I had no problem with it. It felt really, really nice. The only reason I don't own a Bushcrafter is because I had a Bravo first, and they fill the same niche. But I didn't have an issue with the Bushcrafter. As soon as I got it in my hand, I was like, the slim waisted on it seemed to fit my hand at least, and maybe it's because I've got a skinnier palm or whatever it may be. But yeah,
I like it too.
Yeah. This knife in particular had some crazy rounding, like absolutely no hot spots. And especially on a hunting knife, I can definitely appreciate that for sure. And still be flat enough that it's not going to twist in your palm, things like that. That one picture that I sent you where it's the side profile of the rounding.
Side profile with the rounding.
So it's the other picture with the handle. It's
this guy here where you can see the screws.
Yes. Yeah. Because that one points out the seam. And by the way, on that first picture with the seam that we just looked at, I was going to comment about the decent plunge grind on their handles, but when they're molded carbon fiber, I hope they line up good. Got some bark rivers that are quite questionable when you're looking at that area. Anyway,
facts.
Yeah.
So with that newer, thank you. Sorry.
We lost you.
Getting crackly. Sorry, guys. In the audience, I know that's probably entertaining.
Yeah, I disagree with CPM. Just because it's a Benchmade doesn't mean it's a bad knife. Yes, knife's pretty awesome.
So, on that, I think. Crap. The reason why I wanted to bring
troubleshooting over here and nothing's coming up. I don't know. But yes, my contours.
Oh man. Can you hear us? I was just gonna say he may have just. Oh, are you back?
Hopefully.
Oh, there you go.
It's live action. Awesome. Okay.
Dennis Roboto, indeed, Ben.
So we lost basically everything you had said there. Almost none of it came through. If you wanted to recap what you had just said.
Well, I mean, it ties into the
Oh, that's brutal.
The internet just doesn't want his answers.
God, apparently not. Unfortunately, this is kind of why I wanted to bring up a bunch of the points together. I wasn't sure how long we'd be able to string along a conversation.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to purposefully be a dick about it, but
I am back.
Yeah.
For now.
Okay, yeah, it seems like it.
Gamer.
Contouring is as good as on a Rubicon, and they were charging $550 on a goddamn Rubicon for it back in the day, type of idea, right? So,
yep.
It's for when it comes to price point, like what you're paying for on this guy. It's a little steep, but it's not out to lunch when you consider how much rounding that they didn't show off, the side jimping that's been very specific. My third running joke about the whole pivot collars and costing more money because they're pivot collar. Well, this one has two.
Well, it's got 2 sets.
Is it just a tube? Is it 4 individual ones? Is it just a tube?
I think it's 4 individuals, thinking about the construction. Oh, and
They could-
about the construction, this handle is countersunk, right? So I don't know if we. I don't think you sent a picture of from the spine side, but on the spine, the blade is completely exposed, and then on the front, like we showed in this previous photo, it's butted,
Yeah,
and
it reminds me of my Nordic Ika.
so that means they have to get the machining tolerances fairly tight, fairly tight in order to get to this point. Um,
Could that be, say, an example of why it took as long as it did to get out? Maybe.
that that as well as explaining some of the extra expense because fixturing and machining parts like this from two sides, well, technically it's machined from probably three sides at once, like XY. Yeah, anyway, from every direction except underneath, and then there's an operator who have to do all the inside as well on both scales. So tons of machining goes into this thing. Same thing with the
Yeah.
grooves. You want to make sure those grooves are machined in nicely without going too deep too quick and burning parts of the steel. Cerakote, the fact that it is screw wear, like there's a lot. As much as I'd like to bitch that this is a 500, well, Canadian, it's almost $500. As much as I want to bitch about the high price, there's enough that actually goes into the manufacturer that I'm like, I actually don't feel too bad about it. So I think I agree with Dennis in that regard.
I feel bad about it only because I want this knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's still a bit of a steep price, especially when it came out $100 more than what was initially quoted in catalogs, type of thing.
That does suck. I will say though, the difference in material doesn't explain how this is. And again, I'm going on Canadian dollars, but I was just looking at them on the shelf today. The fact that this is $200 more expensive than the Altitude, which is S90V, same kind of coating, same handle scale material. Although there's not as much carbon fiber for sure.
Significantly less, yeah.
Yeah, and there's less machining for those handles. A $200 difference on what should theoretically be a more expensive blade steel.
Yeah, they charged you by the ounce, and this knife is twice as heavy as an Altitude.
Okay. I don't want to accept that as an answer, but I guess I'm going to have to accept that
it's
as
not.
an answer.
It's nonsense, but it's surprising how similar they feel in hand, though, weight-wise.
Now, if I could have gotten this Raghorn, well, not that I would be buying one way or the other, but if the Raghorn could have come out with counter-sunk handles similar to how it was done on the Altitude, so like there's a pocket in the blade itself, kind of like these pockets here that the handles rest in, instead of having this wraparound 3D effect, and the price could be significantly cheaper, would you rather that? Because this grip is nice, don't get me wrong. But if it could shave $100 off.
Yeah, but the knife that they originally announced looked just like this and was $100 less. So that's what I want.
Yeah. No compromises. Just want it cheaper.
I just want it for $100 less.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the reasons I brought up the Rubicon is that knife was going over 500 CAD, like 550, some craziness like that. And it was S30 on mediocre ball bearings.
Yeah.
Like, so when you're looking at 400 with an inset, with 4 pivot collars, with side jimping that works really nice, like all the rounding. Again, I don't think this is terrible for the price. Is it the best knife out there for the price? No, but I don't agree with CPM on that. It's terrible for the price comment. I really don't. Is it? It's a Benchmade for the price, and you can agree with it. Yeah. What's that?
Oh, just threw up a picture of the Rubicon in case people weren't familiar with Peter Carey's work.
And people bitched so much about it that they came out with a Rubicon 2 or whatever with flat scales. They dropped $200 off because they cost so much money, right? But
so, yeah,
or at least every company has made you believe that it costs so much money because Spyderco and Benchmade is on the same page for that one at least. So
there's definitely a premium being paid for this, but having also made handles out of carbon fiber with a similar degree of polish, we'll say, as far as the surface finish goes, it's really time consuming to do that kind of machine. That being said, my dinky little machine in my garage is nothing compared to the machines that Benchmade has at their disposal, so I think they could be doing things a lot faster. So I don't know. I get why this is as expensive as it is, but they probably could have gotten away with charging less and still making a good profit on it. I guess the flip side is, who else is doing handles like this in a
Nordic.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually my big question for you two. For tonight, Benchmade's really taken on this role of like high-end hunting knife with very high-end performance materials, really nice fit and finish in this price range. But for hunting knives, that's not really stuff that's generally on my radar. Can you think of anyone else doing any work in a similar space? And
Bark River, to a certain degree, potentially. They do a lot of hunting knives.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a handful of companies out there for sure. Like, for super high-end hunting, White River Knives. They have some really, really nice stuff out there. There's a lot of guys. I'm drawing blanks right now, but yeah, there is a lot of guys out there. Even North Arms is known for some of the really nice fixed hunting knives, not just their kitchen knives type of thing, right? So yeah, SE, the hunting knives, I don't think they're as known for their hunting knives as they are for some of their tactical knives. Bushcrafty, yes, very much so, but specific hunting in particular, yeah, like I said, there's a bunch of people. I'm drawing blanks right now. A bunch.
Even Tops has that one that you've been eyeballing recently.
Tops has some decent hunting knives too, and they're $10.95. Yeah, the White Fang and the Backwards Skinner, and there's a bunch of Tops knives that would be. I don't put them into the same category as the high end stuff as Bark River or White River or like. Winkler Knives is kind of like a hybrid between tactical and kind of hunty skinny. He's got some sharp finger looking stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, he does.
And then even like some overseas guys, we talked about Stark Knives the other So yeah.
Speaking of the fact that this is basically exclusively a hunting knife, does the crack in the handle seam of the handle scales bother you?
For cleaning, you mean?
Yes.
Shouldn't be too bad. Easier than folding knife. That's still fantastic market for as far as people be using hunting or folding knives for hunters, right? So I mean, it's still not as much of a deal.
And I mean, it's a bolt-on handle construction.
Grab a take the handles off and dollar store toothbrush if it bugs you that much. Hopefully, I don't know exactly. Disassembly. I haven't seen a disassembly video.
I just hope that it doesn't like wick blood into it and just you don't realize it until a couple weeks later when your knife is ripe.
Oh, I would hope the seam would be watertight. Like here's hoping.
One benefit for this for the blade coating as well. I would assume, and I would dearly hope, that absolutely everything that's blade steel that's under the handles is completely powder coated.
I have no doubt about that.
So as far as rust or corrosion, I wouldn't worry about it. It's more just, there's rotten blood and fat in here.
I have smelled the hunting knives that I don't want to ever smell again. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think we all have, unfortunately.
So yeah, I hope that it's not an issue, but it worries me.
I will say though, the part about the seam that annoys me, and I wish I had we got a little bit busy in the shop when I was looking at the knife, I hadn't noticed it, and I forgot until a few moments ago. Down the lanyard hole in this knife, I wish I had gotten a picture, because it is very clean, and looking carefully, even with a light, I couldn't see a seam on the inside between the carbon fiber.
Okay.
So, I really wish that they had brought that into the front of the knife, because while it isn't as bad as the high contrast in this photo makes it look. It is definitely noticeable when you're holding it. And if they were able to get it that close on the inside of a lanyard pull, I don't know. Having it be a little bit cleaner fit and finish on the exterior would have been nice.
It has what, like, I think Alex Steele calls it like an antique finish, where you slightly round the edge.
Antique or heirloom finish. Yeah.
Heirloom, yeah. And it looks really nice, but I worry that it's gonna pick crap up.
It might a little bit, but I mean, yeah, again,
it is bolted construction, so as far as cleaning it out, there's definitely ways to do it.
Hopefully wouldn't be too difficult. Yeah, I mean, like I said, worst case scenario, you got a dollar store toothbrush and scrub that little with nylon bristles, and I'm sure it would clean up okay.
I'll take it apart and fill it with silicone caulk and then close it again.
Mm-hmm. Just sand it smooth. Yeah. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So,
oh, here's a comparison photo with a dragonfly, because why not?
Yeah. Completely irrelevant comparison. Here we go.
Yeah, I really love it. I was expecting a photo with the altitude, to be honest, but when I saw the dragonfly,
look,
that's excellent.
Consistency, Joe. Consistency.
100%.
Yeah, reference points here. We're gonna go with reference points. So
that's the explanation. All right. Yeah.
So, based off of how you thought you would like the knife, Dennis, compared to how you like it in hand, how would you compare those experiences?
I like it significantly more than I thought I was going to, and I gave it good, like, kind of hope to begin with. But between the side jimping and the rounding on the handle, the blade length, the fact that Benchmade isn't putting their forward jimping quite at the tip and they're moving it back a little bit, I really, really like that, what they've done with that recently.
Yep.
Yeah, if we could work on the price point a little bit, it'd be nice. And the seam thing, yeah, you have a valid point on the back of that. The texture on the back, which knife did you say, like the ridging that it came from first, Joe? I was cutting in and out when you were talking about that shit.
I was actually saying it may have been something from the Bone Collector series if they did a fixed blade, but I honestly can't remember what knife had done it first.
Well, yeah, I believe it was, and it was the old version of like the Saddle Mountain Skinner back when it was in the Bone Collector version, and there was just a piece of steel that they ridged. It's become more refined. They had to hit rock bottom with the steep country jimping there a couple years back to reel that back a little bit and come.
Yeah.
So they started okay. They went a little too extreme on the harshness. They reeled it back a little bit, and I think they found a good spot for it, right? So,
no, I think I agree with you.
Am I ready to pull the trigger on this knife? No. I own fantastic things that work really well for me type of idea, right? But again, if you're looking for I'm sick of not being able to have a knife to withstand 6 knives, blah, blah, blah type of thing. I just want to invest in one good knife for the rest of my life, and this is going to work for me. Yeah, You bet, dude. If I wasn't already there, it's catch me 5, 6, 7 years ago before I have what I have type of thing. And yeah, this would have probably shrunk down a whole bunch of the collection. So
yeah. And that's kind of how I feel in a sense. I didn't expect to like this knife nearly as much as I did. I thought it was going to be a hunting knife, and I'm like, okay, it exists. I have knives that fill that niche already. Like I have that. What is that freaking company? The one that Benchmade bought out.
Lone Wolf.
Lone Wolf. I have that Lone Wolf Skinner. That's all pistol grippy. That is similar in hand as far as like getting into a pinch grip and stuff like that. But I like this way more than I thought I would.
The side jimping, like honestly, like put some side jimping on an altitude.
Yeah.
Like for sure that would improve that knife a little bit. They need to start doing that more. Throw some side jimping on the fixed. No, don't do it on the fixed bladed Adamas. That thing's got too many fullers and saw teeth and blah blah blah. It's got enough going on. It doesn't need side jimping.
I might have worried about side jimping on the altitude in S90, But maybe they do a crew wear version of it with some side jimping.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, I think it's that in particular with a hunting knife made this knife really, really nice to grip and play with. And yeah, so.
I don't think we explicitly said it, but that thumb scoop that leads up towards the side jimping on the side of the carbon fiber handles, that is really nicely done. And it's not just a flat ramp, it's actually a scoop. Like it's hollow.
I think if you go to that other picture with both the screw hardware, I had it with the rounding on it. I think it's got a pretty good picture of the scoop.
You can kind of tell with the pattern of the carbon fiber changing.
Yeah.
It's similar to the new Hidden Canyons, quite honestly, where it's a slight curve.
Yeah, and
they're doing a good job with their research as far as ergonomics and overall design. I think they're doing a great job with that.
Well, I mean, I know it's a lot of marketing and publicity and whatever type of thing, but having guys like Meat Eater, Steve Ranella, whatever it may be in your corner as far as some feedback goes isn't hurting your cause.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. Now, how much they listen and how much they were just like, we're going to cut some corners and not listen to make an extra buck. I don't get to be part of those board meetings, but
yeah, that's true. Speaking of extra bucks, it did just occur to me that there's one in comparison I didn't make earlier, but North Arm was brought up. Their Skaha 2 has some very heavily contoured carbon fiber handles. You can get a folding knife with, I would argue, more... no, actually, okay, they're pretty comparable. Fairly comparable contouring on carbon fiber for $200 less.
Stop telling people, Joe. I haven't got on the books yet.
Well, they're bucked up to shit still, I think, unfortunately. And I would say, oh yeah, you are taking a bit of a downgrade in steel, but they're working with MagnaCut now, so I mean, yeah. But this is definitely a case where, yes, North Arm is a very different company than Benchmade, way more lower production in terms of volume, so it's not apples to apples comparison. But the fact that Benchmade charges this much more for these kinds of features, you've got to be able to live with the butterfly tax to be able to live with this kind of purchase.
I was going to say, yeah, it's like Benchmade charges this much more for these features, and I'm like, and have for the last 15 years. Like, it's, So,
that being said, you would still get an excellent warranty with Benchmade. Not saying you wouldn't with North Arm, but the ability to fulfill that warranty is much more readily available through Benchmade, I would assume. I feel like that's a pretty safe assumption.
Yeah.
Good times. I think the only other thing I was going to say is if this knife had to come out before we did our top 3, bottom 3 episode here a couple weeks ago, these guys might not have been in my bottom 3. I'm disappointed in Benchmade this year type of thing, right? They might have pulled out and got ZT thrown in there for coming out with 3 copper handled pieces. Anyway, because they were my runner up. Honestly, I got to be honest with you. That was my runner up this year, was ZT coming out with some weak ass shit, and Benchmade stole it from them. And I think if I had played with the Raghorn, it might have changed my mind, although it might not have been, because it took freaking forever to Canada to get it. You got it just in time for the end of hunting season. I appreciate that, gentlemen. It's
last weekend,
whoever. And I mean, I'm sure all the Americans during hunting season had Raghorns to play with. It was probably worked out pretty good. So but it's
I also agree with Justin in chat.
Oh yeah, what do you say?
Yeah,
my chat's delayed a little bit.
You just got to be careful cleaning around the crack.
Is that how he spelled it too? Like Hugh.
Yeah. Hue. I tried my best.
Justin, you're gonna get banned.
So final thoughts.
This knife impressed me. I didn't expect to like it.
Yeah, I think that's the big takeaway for me as well.
Yeah.
I really like those heads. Um, man, it's like I'm not a hunter, but even from looking at it in that lens, I can't really find much to, in terms of using the knife, and I can't find much to really bitch about. Really, like the crack in the handle, sure, but if you're just gonna, clean your tools properly, it won't be a problem. It's just remembering to do it.
Don't forget to wash your tool.
Always. Uh, yeah, yeah. I think this is a solid enough purchase. You just have to be able to justify the premium that you're paying. That's And I feel like we say that about Benchmade a lot, but at least in this case, it like if you were to pull up and show me like, oh yeah, check this out, and you're gonna show me that you're carrying a Raghorn or you're whatever, like this is what you're rocking. It's like, yeah, sweet, like wow, nice choice, good knife.
Yeah. I don't think it should be understated at all just how, like Dennis mentioned earlier, about the fact that because it's crewware, you can probably touch bone and not roll an edge and stuff like that. In a hunting scenario where you're cold and you're trying to get the work done as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean the other feature for me was like enough of a nice fine tip. So if you do have to go in and nick something, clean something, open something up, type of thing, it's a fine enough point on that to still do semi-caping work almost, type of thing. Like it's a nice little hybrid between the two. And then on top of that, crewware, right? So if I'm gonna cut a joint or something like that, I don't have to be as concerned as my 62 M390 blade that's at a 12-degree angle. So, that's what hatchets are for. It's
Nice. Yeah.
So, because,
if I didn't already have a half dozen different hunting knives, I'd probably end up picking one of these up.
So it did cut the steak, the bison steak. It's
there you go.
It's a big old steak.
Can we keep the mustard off the steak though, please? No mustard.
Gonna do a rub. Gonna smoke it for 12 hours. You're gonna like
I'll
it.
Take that. That's fine.
Yeah, it's
a mustard. I don't want mustard on my steak. I'd rather ketchup on my steak, and that's
gonna come with a side.
That's my point, Joe. That's my point.
I don't know. Between the two, I think I'd rather have mustard.
Oh, you're disgusting. Mustard is an affront against nature.
You guys, neither one of you guys deserve to eat steak with the condiment conversation that I'm hearing right now.
It's fine. Relish it is.
How do I leave Josh here?
Also, Dennis is out.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You thought I was cutting out. I was just muting you guys on purpose.
Intentional.
Hey, if there's a time to stealthily get out, now's the time, apparently. Is there anything out of their lineup you would rather have and use?
I mean, I have
their hunting series.
Yeah, just
stuff.
Yeah.
Without having to actually have used them yet, I mean, I don't think so, honestly. I mean, the S90 Saddle Mountain would be the only other thing in the hunting series that would probably compare with me. The Hidden Canyon's a cool little knife, but yes, it's definitely a Skinner. It doesn't have as many caping capabilities as well as many heavy duty capabilities. It's one knife in an arsenal, whereas I find this is the arsenal, right? Or can be, at least if you choose it to be, right? So yeah.
What about you, Paul?
I mean, I haven't done any skinning, so I really can't comment on it from that perspective. Okay. I have a Hidden Canyon, and like I says, it's something that's good for skinning, but not exactly a do everything knife.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I will say though, the Anonymous, in the shape that it is, because it's basically a Saddle Mountain Skinner, but in crewware, you could probably do some pretty decent skinning with it as well.
Fair.
Because it's basically just a saddle mountain skidder with a slightly pointier tip and a weird choil thing.
Very weird. Very choily.
All right. I think that sums us up here. Yeah. It doesn't suck as much as everyone in the comments might be anti-Benchmade. Not all, but yes, it's definitely less suck than we thought it was going to be. So
yeah,
it's fine to dislike Benchmade, but it is a decent knife. Come on.
I know Joe has some apprehensions against Benchmade as a company and as a brand sometimes, type of thing, right? So, but
I don't think we mentioned it, but it's a 63 to a 65 Rockwell as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all of Benchmade's crewwear. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't do different heat treatments depending on blade coating. So that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yeah, there you go.
Depending on blade thickness, I might have been, interested in that. But it's good to know they're still running it.
That's was my point. That they're running it nice and hard, like it should be run.
Yeah.
Desert tan, charcoal gray, Cerakote orange, all 63 to 65, regardless of color. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Them.
Yeah.
Nice and consistent.
That's what they tell you, anyways.
Yeah. Plus or minus.
Range. There's 3 different colors, 3 different numbers. Just saying.
Oh, lost it again.
Oh, I lost it. My comment was so dumb it knocked Dennis off the internet.
Anything else on the agenda? I got a quick one. It's
Gamer?
Oh
no, that was by choice again.
Oh, there you go.
Good stuff. Let me clean this up. You have a quick one, and Paul sent me a link we can follow afterwards.
Indeed.
We can jump on the link if you want.
Give her a minute. Unless you want to go last. I'm cool either.
Well, I have one thing I want to close on, and
Okay.
I don't think it's your link, so it's a quick little note at the end. But yeah,
Noted. Let's go to Z-Link then.
Did it transfer? It did. Oh, right.
So,
These.
So I'm not actually here to talk about these. But
Really? Okay.
yes.
Because
But from the company that brings you a collapsible sigh, they make a product. And it's in the M series, they call it. You have to scroll down. Their website's kind of stupid. I don't like it.
there's their defense series, and we're looking for the M series.
M
Okay.
series.
It's not this top product, is it?
the M series.
It is. So if you click the Explore All at the M series, it's a weird multi-tool OTF knife blade thing that I kind of dig.
All right.
It is a lot of things that you just
Oh, we lost him.
said, except for probably knife. Oh, sorry guys, cutting out.
Oh no, there's definitely a sharp edge there.
Yeah, there's a whole edge all up the way down the edge. Each of the different sizes of like hex in the handle, it's 3 different sizes. So the blade, one handle scale and the other handle scale are all different from each other.
Neat. Okay.
The smallest hex head is also a wire stripper. That V, you slide the wire in and strip the sheath off.
I saw that, yeah. I was like, is that a nail pull? What the fuck?
Yeah. The 1/4-inch drive also has a magnet, so you can use it as a screwdriver to screw in stuff. But the thing that really honestly caught my attention was the fact that it's a knife blade with a bottle opener, because those seem to be something that's creeping more and more into my collection.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the fact that the opener is right at the tip of the knife, definitely no safety concerns with that whatsoever. Definitely not worried about stabbing something.
But you see, there is 3 spots where you can set the knife. Fully closed, partially open, or fully open. So you only have to have the blade exposed a little bit.
You only have to stab yourself a little.
Yeah,
A little
that's
bit.
better than stabbing yourself a lot of it.
This is true.
Well, no. Stab away, guys. Like stabbing towards yourself is your first problem. Bystanders need to be careful, not me.
I was gonna say, the knife blade is up when you're bottle opening. So unless you like
Yeah,
hold back and hit yourself in the face.
Yes, so yeah.
I'm just gonna open my bottle like this, and if you get stabbed, it's not
It's your fault.
my fault.
It's your own goddamn fault.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's not.
Don't go after me. Go after the M company, whatever the fuck this thing is.
Yeah. I am actually kind of happy to see though that they do harden the stainless steel
440?
handles. Oh, well, yeah. Yes, I am happy to see that they're well, I mean, a heat-treated blade. I hope they heat-treat that blade. But the fact that the handles themselves are actually heat-treated so that they should keep their shape over time. If you're using them constantly to adjust things, you shouldn't be worried about them wearing out. That's pretty nice. That's not something that you always get with multi-tools like this. So, yeah.
What was the price on it? Ben said, "Holy shit, that's expensive."
Oh, I didn't get to there on this page. Oh, there's a nice little diagram.
400 USD, really? $399.95. Oh yeah, wow. How did I not notice that?
Perfect. Thanks for show and tell.
But
thanks for show and tell there, Paul.
But
wow, that's amazing.
But it's 60 Rockwell and 440C. Come on, you got to go. It's $100 per 10 HRC,
per
right?
C?
Per 10 HRC.
So yeah, and it's not an accident that the blade kind of reminds me of a Grimsmo, and I dig it because of that.
A Grimsmo? How does this remind you?
Not exactly, but wide, kind of gradual tanto-y tape shape. It's definitely not a direct analog by any stretch.
Yes,
but I'm getting some vibes.
Not getting that recurve at all. I mean, I'm thinking more Rambo knife with a saw.
People used to trust your opinion, Paul.
Used to. I like how he just tosses that in there.
Right now, I'm saying used to.
Oh,
the line has been set on November 27th, 2022.
Oh, okay, there's the pocket clip. This is just a picture of this girl's butt, but no, there's actually the pocket clip sitting right there. That is pretty.
It's mostly her butt.
It's mostly her butt.
Yeah.
Flip looks decent enough. That is a pretty thin overall build.
There's a lefty version, and they don't charge
that. That doesn't look bad.
They don't charge an extra $100 for the lefty version there, Dennis. So you're welcome.
There's a lefty version? No, I wasn't even looking.
Apparently. That is same.
Oh, okay. This is kind of neat. So on the back to the ass. Jeez, I just tried to zoom in and jump my page. There we go. Yeah, they actually rounded the tip of that knife there, so it's less likely to oh, Dennis went. It is rounded and snubbed a little bit, so you're less likely to break that tip off, which, honestly, I'm happy to see that they thought about that.
For the bottle opener? Absolutely.
Yeah, because I could totally see that little tip just breaking off if they had done like a flip point or something silly into it. So, I mean, it's a funny little gimmicky thing. It's not the worst. Not the least thought out product I've ever seen.
No. Is it top of my list? No. But is it cool to see more things in a manual OTF knife? Yes. That was really what kind of caught my attention, was more things coming out in that realm.
Yeah, I think Benchmade should make a version of this. It's already got Benchmade pricing.
See? Perfect.
Wait a second, is that spring loaded to close?
Yeah.
Is it spring closed?
It's just spring closed.
Oh, the video player is taking a dump, but all right, let's see it again. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Awesome. Oh, I hate that. I enjoy that as much as I do.
Yeah,
but...
see? It's another version like the Artisan that we can play with in Canada.
Oh, I want that Artisan. As soon as the rep started talking about, oh yeah, we're going to reverse the mechanism so it opens the other way, like, no, you assholes. It's so close to having an illegal OTF.
They need to make both.
They should. They really should.
Yeah,
or make a way to reverse it so it's extra illegal.
there you go.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Pretty cool.
See, Alex agrees with me. He likes it. Thank you, Mr. Swarf.
Just because Mr. Swarf agrees with you, that doesn't mean much.
That's fair. You got me there.
Yeah, but he's from a galaxy far, far away. He would like this type of thing, right? Like it's so.
Look,
His
I'm
planet
on,
Swarf.
for the record, I'm on board. This is a cool design, but not for $400. You
No,
can fuck
not for
right
$400.
off.
Yeah,
400 American, I'm imagining as well.
not with 440C.
No. Honestly, it's not even the blade steel at that point. It's the fact that it's stainless steel handles, which makes sense for the design. Fine.
Yeah.
But come on, charging me that much for this.
Come on.
Come on. But a well thought out product. If they can bring the price down, you might catch me carrying it one day. But
Yep. I do kind of like a little.
We're gonna catch you outside. Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Give me a G10 version. I'll take it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that one will only be $350. So
There you go. See, it'll be affordable.
Actually, the G10 will be more expensive than the steel.
It's got steel liners. You still have to pay.
Yeah, there you go. I kind of dig the little like cutter area in the front of the blade too. The little cord cutter.
Oh, that little
With the blade fully closed.
little
You can
tapery
still-
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, that guy there.
like you say, well thought out product.
Envelope cutter type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
And for the record, when they make the G10 version, they're just gonna add G10 to the stainless handle. Like it's
make a
I
nice.
said stainless liners, but
Oh.
it's just like yeah. They're onlays, okay?
G10 onlays. Yeah. Can you make them really obnoxious like the CRKT Fossil too?
Boy, can we? We can only make it obnoxious as shit.
You asked for SK5, we're gonna give you 12.27 cent, Nick, baby. Here you go. Can we?
I mean,
You asked, here you go.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. That's so obnoxious. You asked, and we delivered. Something else. Get them.
Poor Scotty H408 or whatever the hell his name was.
Oh, he didn't deserve that. He was just living.
No, he
Living
deserves
his
better,
life.
man.
look, Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty got it.
Probably doesn't. He probably doesn't know. They didn't tag him.
Scotty's been wrong.
All right, 2 quick things here. Do we got time? Yeah.
Yeah, we got time.
Okay, rather than going to the links or the pictures that I sent you,
Okay.
just go to Wee Knives.
Oh, okay.
And then go to their coming soon section.
Yeah, I think I know what we're going for.
I haven't looked at this recently, so
I'm curious to see if I'm right.
there's some stuff here. What am I specifically looking for?
Is it not the Flag XL?
Ken Dennis hear us.
Yes.
Okay.
We're here? Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Very much the Thug XL. What the hell is Wee Knives doing? Stop it right now.
Oh, look
And
at
they
that.
just made the knife like a knife-sized knife.
Stretched it. Okay, so they call it an XL, but it's only a 3.35 inch blade, and it's an XL. That is hilarious. Oh, we
What's the
completely
original?
lost Dennis. I was just about to ask. Oh, Dennis is back. Hello.
Ew.
I was just in the middle of laughing about this knife being called an XL, even though it only has a 3.35 inch blade. What was the blade length on the original Thug?
2.75?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So it's bigger, but XL?
XM. It's an XM.
Like, come
Yeah.
on, like, yeah.
If any knife should have been an XM, this should have been an XM. And I
Yeah.
hate that. I hate it. This is, you know.
And I agree with you, Dennis, that I prefer the original proportions. But I think there's going to be a lot of people out there that like this knife.
I think those are the wrong people.
What's the weight on it?
85 pounds.
4.75 ounces.
It's made of tungsten.
No, it's just tie. But did they do any internal milling? Like, the outside is contoured heavily, but we're not going to be able to tell from these photos.
Not from my version, that's for sure.
Yours doesn't have any internal milling?
Zero. It's a tank.
Then at this weight, I'm willing to bet that there is no internal milling on this either. And it's 400 American. All right.
I'm not in love with this flame anno job.
I'm not in love with any of the versions. Like, yeah, the original one, which is still the best version out there, but the flame anno as well as the shredded carbon fiber, fat carbon fiber, I don't know. That's more fat than it is shred, in my opinion. But
you don't like the it's 350 American for the same finish that yours has.
Yeah, you'll pay less for more. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's
If you want,
and by more I mean good taste. It's
I thought you meant scratches.
No. That flame handle's going up in flames. If you think scratches isn't gonna happen.
Nice.
Fat carbon it is.
Fat carbon? Well, this is let's take a look at the fat carbon. I don't know. A lot of the charm of the Thug for me was that it was like just this subcompact beast of a little shrimpy knife.
It's like a Techno.
I have no. Yeah.
They didn't make a Techno XL. Giant Mouse did. Let them make it. Jesus Christ! Like it's So.
It's not like I dislike medium to large size Tontos, but I have honestly zero interest in the Thug XL personally. I'd rather take a run at the regular Thug. This is weird.
I think they listened to feedback myself, and I think they listened to feedback and everyone was like, "Oh, it's a cool knife, but it's a little small." So they're like, "Okay, we'll improve it by making an XL." I was like, "No, that's not going to improve it. It's just the guys are going to like it because it's a little, or they're not going to like it. I don't think it deserves to have an XL version."
If they continue to make the regular sized one, I'm not opposed to it.
Oh yeah.
They will. It's still like, I bet you if they look at numbers, I don't think the XL is going to stick around that long.
And I mean that's kind of their MO even in general rule. You know what I mean? It seems like they make a bunch of different models, and if it sells well, then they'll make more. If it doesn't sell well, it was there and gone.
So as far
Roxy's are a good example of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
There's a lot of discontinued Wii models I wouldn't mind having a second chance at.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I got to rant a little bit because I think they're wrecking it.
I don't disagree with you, but I don't know. I see a lot of guys that Tonto guys are going to be right into it.
The ergos look like they're going to be comfortable.
Yeah.
That's something else too. Like, I really like these big finger choil, generous sweep for the rest of the handle. I love that ergonomic styling. Probably my favorite way to do things, but I don't know, man. It's really heavy for how small that knife is. And it's one thing where it's like a
5
small
ounce
knife
for 3.35.
Yeah.
Like
it's one thing when you have a small knife like a Techno or the regular size Thug. It's small and it's dense, but because it's so small anyway, it's not that heavy. It's still not a pain in the ass to carry. This is getting, to me, on the verge of pain in the ass to carry.
Well, this is going back to reminiscent DT days, right? Like,
yeah.
How heavy is it? We don't even have it on our website. Stop asking. Because I'm pretty sure at one point weight was not on their website.
For ZT?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I
I
didn't
mean,
know
that kind of
that.
makes sense.
That's not even that's newer gen than what I'm talking about.
Oh, and it still weighs a lot.
Yeah.
She's a brick house.
So I don't know. Anyway, it's had to rant a little bit.
That's fair.
I'm glad you noticed that one because I saw it as well. And I was going to bring it up
Nice.
and I forgot about it.
All right. I think that pretty much rounds us out. I do have one little small thing to close us out with.
Gib.
So
Excellent timing.
Yeah,
Pros again.
it's got him every single time tonight.
Brutal.
You're keeping us in suspense, bro. Just out with it. Tell us.
bring that one up.
Oh, what?
That I think you're back.
Nope. That was
Tribute picture, if you want to bring that one up in the muted.
Oh, you're back now. Okay, your audio was there and then cut out, but
Weird.
the tribute photo.
Yes. Okay. I just wanted to end the evening on this particular note. Just recently, we lost another famous knife maker here, Dalton Holder.
Yep.
Most people would know him from the very cool, very weird, very unique toad from Spider.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring that up while he's reconnecting.
Dalton Holder's.
Yeah.
If you can, Joe, if you can hear me, bring up Dalton Holder's just knives in particular, because yes, the Spyderco toad is noteworthy, but I think for myself, even totally overshadowed by his phenomenal custom fixed blades.
Wow.
So if you go through the list of Dalton Holder knives, the only real production knife that really comes up is the Toad. I don't think he did much other than that. But I mean, on the level of any great knife maker back in the day, the Randalls and the Morans and the
I saw
Lovelaces and the
saw the announcement, and I saw some of the fixed bladed work they had done. Didn't put two and two together that he had also done with Toad. His fixed blade knives are absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. So anyway, just I believe it was in November. I believe it was this month that
one with the hummingbird and the flower there is really pretty.
Yeah. I had to zoom in on that one.
So anyway, dedicate this episode to Dalton. Here's to you, my man. You came out with some beautiful, beautiful stuff, and hopefully people will use that as some inspiration for the future.
Absolutely.
All right.
This is weird to say, but he reminds me of my grade 10 science teacher.
You've got a bit of that look. It's the flannel, isn't it?
The flannel and the glasses, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, on that note, cheers to that, boys.
Cheers.
And thanks.
Every time.
Yep. The internet's trying to silence Dennis. I think he's getting doxxed.
Is that what this is?
I think it's Ben. Ben, stop it.
Sending Edge for getting the bench.
Oh, is he back? Maybe.
Am I back? I think I'm back.
He was.
Yeah, you're back.
All right. The Cutting Edge for bringing the Raghorn back. Oh,
cheers.
Cutting in, cutting out. Thanks for bending.
Absolutely.
Someone else do this shit.
Thanks to the 3 new people that followed us this week on Instagram. Cheers to you guys. It's kind of neat. Confusing as all hell, but I appreciate it.
You have questionable taste. Welcome aboard.
Yeah. I think it's a meme at this point. It's starting to feel like a meme.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks to all of you who join us night after night every week. It's much appreciated. It's always
Absolutely.
fun to talk about new stuff, but it really helps when there's people to share that with, right? So
And I don't think I'm going to announce it right now yet, but I kind of snuck in a thing last week about being excited for something coming up in the future. And I got another thing that's going to be coming up in the future that's also kind of exciting. So that should be neat.
yeah, all right.
We're not letting him air that on this channel, though. That's something completely different.
I may or may not have won a giveaway on Instagram. So when I receive said thing, I'm going to give them a shout out.
Cool story, bro.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Thanks for everyone who continues to subscribe on Patreon. We really appreciate your continued patronage. Everything that you do subscribe towards us is going back to you guys as a thank you. Eventually, we'll get some stuff together, and we'll hopefully have some good surprises for the guys who have continued to support us throughout the last couple of years. So,
absolutely. Cheers to that.
We'll manage something.
I mean,
I'm sure.
as much as we
Christmas.
joke around about it taking so long, the nice thing about
everything.
The longer it takes, the more money is going to be spent on you guys. So
The cooler something can be,
exactly.
as a thank you. But yeah, cool. Did we cover all the bases? I cut in and out every 15 seconds, so I don't know if we actually covered anyone.
I think we
cool.
did.
Awesome. It was a raggy good time here tonight. So yeah,
Good
that's
one,
something
Raggy.
different too. By the well. So on that note, guys, thanks for everyone joining us. We will see you here again next week. I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I'm the Iron Joe.
And I'm XL.ca.
Thanks again for joining us, guys. Hopefully next week we will have Dennis joining us over Ethernet cable instead of Wi-Fi.
Yeah, probably won't be next week. I'm just saying.
High hopes, just death. All right.
Let's be realistic here.